Benedicta Blessing tuned in from Bato. Larissa Big Mos Wallace from Sakumono, I see you. Emmanuel Ayambila, there you are. Clement in Tema. Joseph Kwashi from Westland. Newman, I see you. And my brother, Professor Kazu Seriam, thank you for tuning in. Bishop Samuel Mensah, there you are. Tofik from Tough Smart Technologies. Still in the shop. We are listening live. Greetings to all of you guys at Tough Max Technologies. Vera from Prampam, I see you. KO in Dansuma. William Thomason of the Peninsula Resort. Dr. Edusa Kodien and every year. Marure Hine of Akwamu. Malik in Adenta says, where is Mami Ajua? Stephen Jampo in Tinkong. Bra Sibido from Texas, greetings to you too. Mami Ajua from West Hills. Dr. Kobla Quest, senior brother in Takrade. Good evening and thanks for tuning in. Rahel Nana Abna Akumening of Ghana Police Service, Dodowa Court. It's your birthday today. Have a wonderful one. Frederick Ayambela and Ebenezer Ayambela all doing the listening. Thank you guys. Jones Appinting, aka Pintosh. What an interesting show we have today. Eleanor from Ablekuma, I see you. Folks, we start the way we start. say after me, until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And you know, I'll say that again. Folks, until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. I am Nana Ansah Kwao IV, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwemu Edumasa, and I say thank God it's Monday. Another wonderful opportunity for deep thinkers to come together and do what we do best, perform one of radio's most important ritual. And it only happens on Joy 99.7 FM at this time every Monday. Make it a point to join us. Welcome to the show I call That's My Opinion. At the moment, so let's all get together and make truth good. Our topic today, folks, thoughts of a confused father. Thoughts of a confused father. A very, very interesting topic today. Folks, every Monday we meet here and I will come up with a topic. I'll usually take a position, state my point, or, take my stand. Then after we get to the phones and everybody chips in whatever. You could agree, you could disagree with me, you can add to what I said or take some out. But we do it cordially and respectfully. That's our trademark. No matter how sensitive an issue is, we are able to handle and deal with it perfectly. So for that, I doff my hat to all my audience out there. However, today I don't know if it's an observation or an opinion. Probably very anthropological, if I may say. Sunday gone was Father's Day, and I was part of the chairpersons of the Kropong Christ Presby Church. And the theme they had was, rather an interesting one. The problems in marital homes. Who's to blame, the man or the woman? I think what an open-ended theme. But it got me thinking. Folks, it got me thinking again. Now, being a chief, or coming from me from the traditional side of things, today's topic may not be accepted that well. But let's see how it goes. Folks, looking at my office and where I'm coming from, it may be taken with a pinch of salt. But let's see how it goes. Folks, there are so many things that have become an albatross round our necks that were not supposed to be there in the first place. We have inherited habits and cultures which, if we pay attention to, could really set us free. But there's this notion that because you're becoming civilized or because you're becoming exposed or whatever it takes, you must definitely adapt, a foreign culture, habit, something. And it becomes generally more accepted. Some are bad, some are good. But we have practiced it for so long that it becomes ours, and you don't even think, say, this thing could have been adopted or, incorporated from somewhere. Folks, now hear me out. The average Ghanaian woman, or your typical Ghanaian woman, is not a very good homemaker. I said your average Ghanaian woman, her strength is not at home as it has been trumpeted and thought of and presumed and almost signed, sealed and cemented. I'm sure by now the arguments have started, but please let me land. Don't shoot me yet. Let me land. Folks, the strength of our mothers, our sisters, the strength of the Ghanaian woman is in industry. The strength of the Ghanaian woman is in industry. The typical Ghanaian woman is a ferocious hunter and highly industrious. So that notion that woman has to cook and clean may be wrong. in our side of the world or in this country. And may be unfair. But please don't eat me up yet. I will land. You see, this idea of housewives stay at home and cook and clean is a borrowed culture from those who colonized us through religion, through education, and of course, men being men, took advantage of it. Here we are, we had women as equals, and then suddenly there's a regime, there's a wave, something going that was giving the man the upper hand. So if we can oppress women and shift more chores to them, then why not? So if suddenly there was a culture who was saying, okay, they be with your man here, with your man here, with your man here, keep quiet, men took advantage of that. And so like everything, the more you do it, the more it becomes you, the more it becomes your culture, and the more it comes to stay. But I am saying that the idea of housewifism has never, ever been a Ghanaian culture. And so if you go back to the Western world, that's how come they were creating the washing machine, the microwave, the blender, things that because the woman was going to stay at home, it will keep her entertained. We did not create those things at home because the woman was not at home. Men don't cook. Folks, who said that? Whose idea was that? When men went to the farms, when men went fishing, did they not cook? What's the difference in cooking in the farm and cooking at the farm? Is it not the same ingredients, the same fire, the same thing you put together? So men have always cooked. In this side of the world, men have always cooked. So suddenly what happened? That we are now socializing our boys to believe that cooking is a taboo. There are some households where when boys are seen in the kitchen, hey, fijari ho, fio, come out of the kitchen. What are boys doing in the kitchen? And so they grow up believing that that side of the house is only for the woman. And that one day when he gets married, whoever it is that he gets married to will come and occupy and make sure that that side of the house is sorted. And I'm saying that the chances of you marrying a hunter is very high. And so that side of the house may not be sorted as much as you want. Folks, never have we had our mothers stay at home for reason that she's going to be a housewife. That was not our thing. Men and their wives worked together. And where they did not, the woman traded from a petty stall to major trading. Folks, and here in this country, back in the days, we have we've been told of Dede Ashikisha. Dede Ashikisha. And as a woman back then was actually bankrolling political parties. When we were growing up, there was this Araba contractor, it was a woman who had a contracting firm doing big business. And I can go on and list, hundreds and hundreds of women who are in front line business trading, right from the informal to the formal. If you were to go to Agbublushi Adon, you will know what I'm talking about. So, folks, it could not be just a mere coincidence that Ghana has the highest female percentage per population that own businesses in the world. In the whole world. Folks, both in the formal and informal section, Ghana ranks number 1. I'm sure many of you, this will come as a surprise. Yes, next is Russia, then Uganda. But then even if you look at the margins, and according to the CEO World Magazine, 46.6% of women in Ghana own their business. Then Russia is 34.8%, and then Uganda 33%, but 46%. I mean, that's a huge chunk. World leaders. It's not a coincidence. It is their strength. It is inherent in them. It's probably in their DNA. You drive by all the stalls and the container shops and the kiosks and everything that you drive by and you see. You walk in there and find out how many of them are being run by men. Now, this is very significant by all standards. That women are really putting in their best in the field of business. So they may fall short at home. And we may have to rethink to socialize our boys to see into this culture which is truly ours. Because otherwise, we may be doubling the work of the average woman, where she has to go out there and graft just like the man, come back home, meet a man who says, no, well, I am the man. I don't touch, I don't pinch, I don't mend. This is your job. Obranabe. Maybe in another world it will be fine, where the women are not so industrious. So they will wash, they will clean, they will iron, they will hang, they would cook and boil and, mow the garden and whatever it is, because otifie. Otifie onyeri. Folks, if you go to markets in many towns, take UK, you want to go and buy fish, the chances are it's a man selling it. You want to go and buy vegetables, you want to buy onions, tomatoes, strawberries, whatever. It's a man. Mainly, men are selling it. But here, no. But fish about. You go to the seaside, wait for the canoe, get her fish, bring it, come and sell it. If she has to smoke it, get the fish, smoke it, sell it, and the next day she's there. And they are so dedicated that if this is the product they're doing, i.e. tomatoes, lean season, high season, finished season, diminished season, you will go and meet her there with her tomatoes. And sometimes you see them on the track. They will travel to go and buy it, sit on the track and bring it. You see the Abusio Kai machos with tomatoes or onions or something in it, and there's a woman perched at the back. That's her stuff. And I think it's God-given. I think it's God-given. It's in our DNA, whatever reason. Maybe in the days of conquest when men went out fighting, the women were left to survive, and maybe that's where they got it from. But however it is, they have it. So my argument today after Father's Day is that, whilst you're giving your sons and your daughters away, you should really let them understand that, if you're coming to marry my daughter, it's not because you have a kitchen, your pot of aben kwantin abebe worry me about. No. There must be something more that she can contribute to other than a pot of soup or a pot of jollof. So we should socialize our new generation in rethinking and having gender-based chores at home. It would reduce their pressure and they may have much more harmony than we have. Where the guy goes into marriage knowing that, listen, I'm getting married to an industrious woman and therefore I'll push her. Vice versa. Rather than there be, stop, by this time you have to stop trading because I'm hungry. Come home and do this. Come home and bath the kids. Come home and do this. Come home and do that. I am saying going forward, maybe we need to rethink and balance the equation so they may have happier homes than we have. Because we all grew up thinking, we've always grown up, But you come back and sit down and think that, hold on, the whole world, the Emma in Ghana, have more businesses than anybody. London, Paris, New York, Russia, Australia, Japan, all these countries who are so-called more advanced and, we are leading. And it cannot be a coincidence. It means they have the strength, the will, the passion, and they succeed in the field. So, while we are so busy tagging and generalizing home chores and reducing their strength, maybe if we identify it and push it, we could be in a much, much better place than we are now. Because at this rate, I mean, that's how much of the percentage or that's how much contribution they are making to the state. Huge. Number one in the world. Number one in the world. So thoughts of a confused father is that, look, when you're giving your children away today, tell them that the world has changed. And that the strength of the woman that you're going to get married to is not in a pot of soup or pot of jollof. But she could actually be out there grafting to make your home a much, much more comfortable place. Yes, I know. Coming from the palace, this doesn't sound right. I'm supposed to come and say, Debbie, your body, expected of me to say something like that. But I am saying no. It is not a coincidence that in the whole world, Ghanaian women are leading in enterprise and industry and businesses. It can never be a coincidence. So if that is where their strength lies, then let us recognize it as we go forward. And I really want to hear the woman this evening. It's 0302 216 541. 0302 216 541. And I'm sure if I'm to ask you about some of the struggles of your mothers, they would have to give us 3 days. I'm sure if I was to open the line and say, tell us the struggles and your mothers and how they went through to look after you and your siblings, we'll probably need 3 days. Good evening, Oye Nafienya. Okay, who's my first caller?
Nana, your first caller is Saint OJ.
Saint OJ, let me hear you, my brother.
Nana, I am so grateful you've raised this topic. And I must say, I must congratulate you and say that your platform is basically a place of learning. And this evening, I am really, really learning a lot.
Thank you.
I will summarize all that you have said, then I will add my opinion to it.
Sure.
The summary of what you have said is that as the women become modernized, as we so want to think, the worse they become. And as the men refuse to be modernized, the worse they become. So modernized women are a problem in their homes. And less modernized men are also a problem in the home. There's a very thorny area, Nana, you didn't touch, which I want to find out. And that has to do with the way we marry in this country. This kind of today, the church marriage and all that. I want to find out, Nana, is the African man supposed to be a monogamous man? And I think that because naturally the African man it is not in his DNA to be monogamous, it is difficult for we, the African men, struggling to be in the monogamous marriages. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, too. 0302 216 541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Good evening, and I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well. Ajiman Joseph.
Yes, I was.
Yes, sir. Let me hear you.
We are going for the wages, but I think you are right at some point. The issue of the kitchen belongs to the woman doesn't work nowadays. Because if you look at the woman CEO, the way they are very conscious about the job they are doing, when a man is doing business, the profit is coming. they tend to be using the money to be chasing ladies. But for the woman, it's different. So if a woman has the potential to do something better to support you, the man, what stops you to be in the kitchen? Let's assume that the kind of business or the work the woman is doing doesn't permit her to be at home early. And you, the man, you are closing early, and there's something in the house that you can do to support. You sit down and wait for the woman to come at a later date or last hour for the woman to come and prepare something for you. So I think, though traditionally, the kitchen used to be belonging to the woman, but at a point in time, you raise that point so that whoever comes first prepare something for us to eat. That's my point, Nana.
Thank you very much. That's the thing. Eleanor says, give the number again. Eleanor, the number is 0302 216 541. 0302 216 541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Nana, this is Kobna.
Kwabna, let me hear you.
Yeah, so Nana, so you said if Ghanaian women were very industrious, right, then the standard of living of Ghanaians would have been high. But from the classroom, from my classroom studies, my lecturer told me that the entry of women into the American workforce in the early 60s increased the GDP, the American economy. A lot of American women started working. They started being housewives and they started working, and that increased the GDP of the United States and thus the standard of living. But now, standard of living is not anything to go by in Ghana.
So imagine
low.
Okay, let me. So imagine this 46.6% were out of business. So that's their contribution. So whatever the standard is today, it's their contribution. And yes, Adi Anka, we will be finished.
Okay, then it means the statistical studies need to rethink the formula for calculating the standard of living or the GDP of Ghana. Because, like you said, my mother worked as a librarian for Ghana Tourism Authority at that time, for Ghana Forest Board, but she also sold vegetables, right, to support the home. And I remember when we closed from school, we went to support her. And also, like you said, the Ghanaian woman is very industrious, but it doesn't reflect in the GDP of Ghana and also the standard of living. So, like you said, the efforts needs to rethink and factor in the contribution of the Ghanaian woman into the GDP of Ghana. Let me make this final point. Now, culturally, parents raise their boys not to work, not to do household chores, right? So most of us don't know how to cook. So we tend to say, we want to marry you to cook for us, or to do this for us, or to do that for us, right? While the men went to watch EPL and they did whatever they want to do. Right. So the Ghanaian parent must also raise, boys of today must be raised like girls, like to do household chores and other things, so that in future, when they marry, they can minimize the pressure on their wives.
I kind of agree with you. I agree with you in a way, but I'm saying that, you see, this culture of girls do this, boys do this, we borrowed it. Before we encountered, Western religion and Western education, there were no gender-based chores. We there's nothing like Kofi, you sit down. His mother has to go and do the cocoyam. They did everything together. But it's when this Western culture came and they brought this division of labor, and we bought into it. But your wife will be, turning the fufu and you'll be pounding it until you have children who will come and aid you. You come back from the farm. One is doing the cassava. One is doing this one. There was a way in which we're, simulated domestically. But then the division helped us, and so we did it. Hello, who's talking to me?
I'm JT from Pong.
Let me hear you, my brother.
Okay, so I must commend you on a good show you're doing.
Thank
I'm
you.
a young guy in my 20s, and I think this issue with the role is for the women in the kitchen. I don't think it works for we the young ones in this generation, because honestly, in fact, I was having a conversation one day with these older folks, and they were like, "You need a woman who be in the house who cooks." And I was like, "I don't need that. I don't need to marry for my wife to be in the kitchen always, for her to be at home. The two of us have to be on the field to work." And so, this is what I told them. I don't need that. And they were like, "Muni ni amoka, muni ni amoye." And I was like, no. In this generation, we don't need that. We don't need that at all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me? Hi, Nana. Tell the gentleman talking about women being industrious but not reflected in the GP that it's not factual. When you go to the north and cocoa growing areas, it's the man who owns the land, but the wife and kids who do the actual farming, i.e., clearing, planting, vegetation, suppression, and harvesting. Hello, who's talking to me? Hello.
Hello, Nana.
Yes, sir. Who am I talking to?
My name is Kofi Mensah.
Kofi, let me hear you.
Yeah, it's like the women themselves have taken monopoly over that area of life. Like the kitchen and the cooking and all that stuff is for them. You know, on Sunday, that was a Father's Day, I decided to go to the market to get some cassava and prepare some nice food for the family. You know, the way I went out to buy the food stuff, and the way the ladies were looking at me, and then doing little gossips about me as if I'm not the man who wants to give money at home. So myself, I've come to the market to buy. It was not nice at all. So that is why the men will not even try to go that way. Sometimes they sell to you at a higher price than they will sell to their women counterparts. That is one issue. That the women themselves have accepted that this is our place, so no man should come there. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. But you see, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's how we have also socialized. You know, we have socialized. But I'm just saying that if we go back and neutralize, because, I mean, the amount of money parents today are spending on their daughters. Gone are the days when this division started, they say, oh, men school, now man interfere. I mean, that's how it started. You know, you send the boys to formal school and then you keep the women at home because we have that kind of thing. You know, so now we've gone past where we are sending both male and female to school. The girls are now beating us in school. Baby first to sixth girl, they're beating us. So we are spending almost the same amount on the boys in school. Are you saying we are doing that because eventually one day she's going to go and man somebody's kitchen? Hello, who's talking to me?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Nana Kwesi.
Nana, let me hear you. I want to hear your take on this one.
I'm happy, you know, because finally you are speaking my language. This is something I've been saying for a very long time. Anytime I say it gets contested. See, men are threatened. We've raised men who are threatened with successful women. So I tend to ask myself, is wealth the birthright of males? Because that's how it's looking like. When a woman is wealthy, they say, oh, meanwhile, it's just a character. If the person do not respect, it has nothing to do with the success. And also, the basic survival skills that every human being must have, cooking, washing, laundry, every human being must have, has been genderalized. It's the woman who is supposed to do it. And the wealth part has also been genderalized. It's the man who is supposed to get the money and take care of the family. So anytime we cross it becomes a problem. The women feel they are not being treated right. The men feel like, hey, I'm doing what I'm not supposed to do. But I tend to ask myself, are we not human beings first before our gender? So if you were a human being, why don't you ask yourself, what are some of the things that I need to survive before I even bring somebody into my life? If you begin to look at things from that aspect, then maybe washing, then maybe cooking, maybe doing the laundry, all of this is nobody will be threatened to do them, especially the men. Nana, I've always had issues with the upbringing. I was raised like that, but it didn't take me long to realize to unlearn all of these things. Nana. So I'm very, very grateful you are having this conversation today. Maybe we should check how we rate the boys and girls. It goes a long way to contribute to how they see the other gender when they grow up, Nana. So I'm I really thank you for having this conversation.
Thank you very much. See, as we are telling the boys to go to the kitchen, then we should teach the girls also to how to check your oil. And apart, you open the bonnet and check to see if there's oil in the car. Is it dirty? We should teach the girls how to change your puncher. If your tie goes flat and there's nobody around, this is how you go about it. So that nobody's handicapped. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Nana Unkwaso.
Medasi, who am I talking to?
This is Eleanor.
Eleanor. Yes, good.
Yes. Nana, you say women, they say we are our own enemies. Mm-hmm. That is what they normally say. I have 3 girls and a boy. I have taught this boy. In fact, when he was in primary school, I'll give him a list to go and buy foodstuffs and all this. Mm-hmm. Now he's out of university. He's rented his own place and he cooks for himself and do laundry for himself. He does everything for himself, actually. You see, because when he was with me, I taught him how to cook. I didn't discriminate. Oh, you are a boy, so you can stay. The girls who come. No. I didn't do that, and it has benefited. Even now, when he comes, Mommy, thank you. They call me Mama. Mama, thank you. If it's all for you, when I was even at university, I couldn't have cooked for myself. Mm-hmm. So I think women, we should teach our sons how to do the house chores and all those things. In fact, I say that when he gets married, and I go to their house and to visit them, and I see him washing, making the laundry for. I won't say anything because even who knows, maybe the woman is even the one who is bringing the money home. So women, we need to learn how to teach our male children how to do these things for themselves. That's what I want to contribute.
Well, thank you very much. Udute says to all of us who have daughters, we say amen. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hi, Nana.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Kofi.
Kofi, let me hear you.
So I cook, I wash, I do the laundry, I do everything that a person should do, regardless of me having a partner. Mm-hmm. So in my home, it's not about you, it's about we. So you don't do this, but we do this. You don't do that, but we do that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just to add up to what you said about teaching them how to change oil, all of this is I couldn't agree less with you, Nana. All of these things are basic survival skills. So you are traveling and you have an issue with your car in the middle of nowhere. Maybe your car is even down. Are you going to call your husband? Or if you can fix it, you just do that. Wouldn't it benefit you? But of course, what do we say? They say the woman is the weak side, and it's been drummed into their head to the point that some of these things they think they can't do. But really, and I think about it, you can check your oil, you can change your tie. I mean, wouldn't it help you? So I couldn't agree less. Like I said, in my home, you don't do, we do. I don't pay the bills, we pay the bills. You don't do the cooking, we do the cooking. And it's working, Nana. There's no stress, and we are happy. Unfortunately, if somebody should come from outside and see this, the person will say, "Oh, Obama ni yokotobonku." You understand? Obama no nyeshi onko ejuma, and I hearing eko ejuma, and I hearing say, but you see, we both work and we come home and we do what has to be done. You know. So, Charlie, thank you, Nana. Thank you. Today, I'm very happy. I'm really, really happy you're having this conversation.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you too, and I'm glad you called. You know, for those of you who just tuned in, I was saying that the strength of the Ghanaian woman, the typical Ghanaian woman, is not in homemaking. The strength of the Ghanaian woman is not in homemaking. Why? Because she is so industrious, and I don't see how they can combine two. I mean, just imagine a woman who wakes up at 3 a.m. to go to Agbubulushi or somewhere to wait for the truck to bring tomatoes from Burkina Faso. Probably a whole quarter of the truck on Obertoni now. You look at her and her filthy apron, you'll be shocked the thousands that she'll take away from that apron, buy the tomatoes. By 11 a.m. that morning, she'll probably have sold it all, go home, sort the house out, chase the next morning. So I'm saying that woman's strength, it's not like the one who is just at home with a lawnmower, trim the hedges, do this, wash the curtains, change the bed. They are not. That's not their strength. And I'm saying that we need to also identify that God gave us women who are very industrious. So let's push them that direction rather than limiting the species of the weaker sex. If I could see 46.6% of women running their business, bigger than any country in the world. Bigger than any country in the world. So if we use the same yardstick that, when the English came here or the Portuguese came here, Mrs. Smith was at home planting roses, clipping, daisies and whatever it is, until Abna should be doing the same. Meanwhile, 3 a.m., Abna is waiting for the canoe to get her salmon, to go and smoke, get it ready by 3 p.m., smoked salmon is ready, or beton, and salad the next day, wako. So their strengths are different. I'm not saying the one who does home is better than the one who is industry, but I'm just saying that they have different strength. However, we seem to be putting them all in one basket that because A is doing it, B must do it, forgetting what other strengths B is bringing on the table. When you bring the boys from school, send them to the kitchen here. Munyina munkoye dishes. All of you go and peel the plantain. All of you put the rice on. Do this. Everybody's in the kitchen. In the morning when they're cleaning the cars, ama go and get the hose for your brother. Munyina munhro car. Learn to check the oil. One says women themselves have accepted the notion that the kitchen is for them. If a man goes to the market to buy foodstuff, the same woman rather mock at men. They call you all sorts of names and tend to sell at a higher price to the men than they will sell to their counterpart women. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, this is Hilford calling from Nana.
Let me hear you, my brother.
Yeah, thank you for your words today. I think the problem is coming from our parents.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to be calling we the boys anytime they are going to teach the kids. Because to me, as for young, my mom normally call me and teach me. Today, she's no more alive, but I can perform all house chores that women do. So I may say that the problem is coming from our parents. If they should be calling all of us into the kitchen and teach us, I don't think there will be a demarcation that this is what for a girl, this is for a boy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 0302216541. Good evening, Nana. I have 3 boys and a girl. The elderly is 16, second 14, and the last boy is 9, age 9. At age 12, the elderly boy was able to cook every meal, prepare stew and soup. The girl turns 15 on Saturday, and she, the one who sometimes washes the car tire, and be asking questions about the car. That's what I'm talking about. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening.
Nana, it's been a while.
Yes.
Thank you always for educating us, especially with the young ones that are coming up to know many things. I remember when we were young, we had only one sister. We were 3 boys. And they got to a point, my sister wouldn't even come to the kitchen. With the boys, we'd be able to pound for food and do so many things. Of course, we studied it from her if mom is not available. And these were things that mommy will always make sure that we are all around her to learn it, because we are all one set. And everything that she does, probably when you grow and then you go out, you're also going to do it. Even if your spouse or whoever that you have, if you're a man, if you're a woman, whoever that you are going to have, if the person is not well or the person is not able to do it, you must also stand in for the person. Remember, sometimes when you give all those calls or some of them to some people around you, they end up destroying your marriage or your relationship with the person, because you are not able to do that thing maybe the person is doing differently. So it's all about how we are taught at home, we're able to do it, and then when we come out, it's all about what we learn, and then we're able to do it back. Unless they be my cousin back home, your cousin uncle who he's not married. I don't know how he's living his life now.
Thank you very This one says, Nana, please, where do you place division of labor in the home? Didn't get your name, but KD Amwa. Where do you play division of labor at home? You see, I have this belief that apart from getting pregnant and breastfeeding, there's no other gender work in the house. Apart from, say, you biologically get pregnant, which I don't know how the man is going to do it. And then when you give birth, breastfeed the baby. And also, I don't know how the man is going to do it. But apart from that, I don't see any chore that God came and says, hey, I'm creating it for a man, or this job, I'm creating it for a woman. So in the home, it should be an even kill. It should be a really, really even kill, a give and take. As the other caller said, it's in my house, it's a we thing, not I did, it's a we. Dr. Cynthia Tego says, hello, Nana, a huge billboard I saw in Freetown with this inscription: a real man is not afraid of an empowered woman. On my mind, there is the need for a real balance in the minds of both men and women to stop pity parties, focusing on their weakness, and push for bringing out the best in each other for maximum impact for the family, society, and nation. I agree with you. And I'm saying that, you see, like if you go to a typical English home, right, typical, the women are more artificial, baking, cooking, cleaning, clipping the glass, waving. So for them, that is their strength. I'm not taking anything away from them. If you come here, Ashikishan hasn't got time to be clipping, hedges and mowing your grass. She's shipping in flour and selling and distributing and bankrolling political parties. You don't expect them both. Say, because Mrs. Smith is there clipping hedges and doing it, so Ashikishan should be doing the same thing. No. They have different strengths. And we should push them both in their strength. But I'm saying that crisscrossing and, painting everybody with one brush, and a problem. My first son started cooking when he turned 8. Now all 3 of them, youngest 7, cook, and they all do household chores as well as look after their special needs sister in my absence, Eugenia Sintimedi. Abigail Nanajua Datsun, happy birthday to you. Father's Day was your birthday. Hey, Father's Day is Swafa. But happy birthday to you, Abigail Nanajua Datsun. Well, that was an interesting one. I wasn't sure how it was going to be received, but I'm happy it was received well.